With fall break in full swing for majority of college students, I think it's the perfect time to give some grades of my own. But this time, it's for some football teams. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's Drew, better known as RockJock01, and in this video, I'm going to be giving my mid-season grades for every Big 12 football team this season. Yeah, so this isn't out of the blue. Mostly it's been on YouTube for years at this point, and a lot of other YouTubers have done it as well. Most notably, I saw SG1 Sports do a video on it, and I'll give a link to their channel in the description because, well, they're actually a really good channel and they do some really good defining grades. So I thought, why not take a kick at this, and hopefully I don't hit the upright, but I think this is going to be very interesting. So yeah, 10 teams, 10 overall grades, and I'm going to do this very differently. Instead of going from the worst grade to the best grade, I'm just going to go with every Big 12 football team in alphabetical order because that just seems like the way to do it. And since I'm basically the teacher at this point, let me get something real quick. Ah, yes. Okay, now that makes me look like a teacher. To just put on some glasses. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through each team alphabetically, give their grade, what I think they did good, what I think they need to improve on, and yeah, any other thoughts I have. So without further ado, here we go.
BAYLOR-C.
Well, this isn't a good start for a predicted Big 12 champion. I predicted that the Bears would win the conference, and overall what I've seen out of them is really mediocre at best. I mean, they recently just played, probably not too long ago, so the grade would have been higher. It was a C+ going into their game, and since they lost, it went down to a C. So yeah, the Bears currently are 3-3 overall, with a 1-2 record in conference play. Their offense is actually pretty good, as they average just a bit under 38 points a game, and the defense isn't too bad, as they hold teams to just a bit over 24 points a game. But yeah, I originally was going to say that Baylor, their kryptonite was ranked opponents, because they lost all their games up until this point to ranked opponents. Now, West Virginia is the first unranked opponent that they lost to. So yeah, this season for the Bears is going to be up in the air. So with that said, a C is the best grade I can give to Baylor.
Iowa State, C.
Well, would you look at that? Another C. However, Iowa State season has been a bit of a whirlwind. Whirlwind. Cyclone. Yeah. Iowa State, I'm giving these Cyclones a C because honestly, through their midseason grade, if you just count the first 3 games of the season alone, I'd give them an A. And then you got the last 3 games that they played, and I'd give them an F because, well, they stunk. Currently, as of this moment, Iowa State is 3-3 overall with an 0-3 record in the Big 12. But one of their biggest positives is that Iowa State has one of the best defenses in the conference and also in the country, as they hold teams to just under 14 points a game. However, their downside is that their offense is one of the least scoring teams in the Big 12, as the Iowa State Cyclones score about 23 a game. However, their kryptonite honestly has been conference opponents, because every single one they played, they lost. But yeah, their defense is good. I think that just needs to be consistent, and their offense really needs to start kicking into high gear, or else they aren't going to win football games anymore. And they might be one of the worst teams in the conference. So for right now, I'm going to give Iowa State a C, but it could be lower once the season goes on.
Kansas, A-.
Well, the most surprising team in the conference. Now, you can call me biased, but I have to give the Jayhawks at least somewhat of an A. And I think an A- sits at best, because there's been a few times here and there where they aren't perfect and they're not like a middle of the pack A. So I think an A- is the best fit. one thing's for sure is that this team has exceeded everyone's expectations this season, and including my own. So far through 6 games, Kansas is 5-1 and 2-1 in conference play. Now those numbers are very impactful because KU hasn't won more than 3 games since 2009, and they've already got 2 more wins, and they haven't won multiple conference games since 2008. Not only that, the offense and defensive scoring has been the complete difference maker for these Jayhawks. The offense is one of the best scoring offenses in the country at just under 40 points a game, and the defense has done one of the best in years in Lawrence as they hold teams to just under or just over 26 points a game. Now the 26 points is a little bit on the higher side, and the scoring defense really needs to go down, and it also has to go down in terms of yardage because KU gives up a crap ton. If the defense can hold teams to like under their scoring average, and the offense can stay consistent and keep those point totals going up, I think KU can do great. I think they can go 8-4 and 9-3. But for now, at the mid-season point, I have to give the Jayhawks an A-.
K-State, A.
Another Kansas school with another great grade. The Wildcats, my goodness, I'm giving them an A because they frickin' deserve it. And in my mind, and I know I hate saying this, but K-State is probably my front runner to win the Big 12 title at this point. So far on the season, Kansas State is 5-1 overall and undefeated 3-0 in Big 12 play. At times, their offense is a little bit shaky as they just average just under 29 points a game, but their defense is what really helps them, and that's what stands out for them, is that they can hold teams to under 17 points a game. So, yeah, one of the best defenses in the country and in the conference. Now, the things that they need to improve is to get the offense moving up and getting back into the rhythm of things. So, get their point totals up into the 30s and 40s. So, yeah, that's that. And also to keep the defense consistent, because if you have fluctuating days where the defense only gives up like maybe a touchdown and then they give up 40 the next week, that's not going to help you. And I think K-State, in terms of scoring defense, in terms of yardage per game, I think they'll keep that consistent, and I think the grade might stay the same or get better. But K-State's my front runner, so that's why I have them with an A.
Oklahoma, F.
Okay, I have to give somebody a bad grade, and these guys frickin' deserve it. I have to give the Sooners an F because, well, they stink. I don't know what's going on in Norman. There just seems to be something wrong with this Oklahoma team. And I know KU plays them next, so if they lose that one, there's seriously something wrong, and I might have to give them an F-. But for right now, Oklahoma sits at 3-3 overall and winless 0-3 in Big 12 play. A lot of things have gone wrong because they are so far winless in conference for the first time in like decades. They have had their streak of not being shut out, which was at over 300 and some odd games. That was snapped against Texas when they got killed 49-0. This is probably the worst Oklahoma team since the mid to late 1990s, when Bob Stoops was about to come in and it was the end of Barry Switzer. So what do they need to improve? Everything. They need to fix everything because they're Oklahoma and they should be a powerhouse in this conference, and they're showing that they are the bottom feeders. And this is not a good look for the SEC because Texas had that same problem last year. Now Oklahoma has it. Wait till these two schools go to the SEC. They are probably going to be the bottom feeders if this is going to be a consistent thing. There's no question that the Oklahoma Sooners have my worst grade in this video, and it's an F.
Oklahoma State, A.
Alright, Oklahoma State, I'll give you credit. You surprised me so far. So, the Cowboys, I'm going to give them an A because, well, they freaking deserve it. I mean, they exceeded my expectations because I thought they would be having a down year, and that does not seem to be the case because they look like a conference title contender. They're like everybody's midseason prediction to be the conference champion at this point, except me, and they are in the quest to go to the playoff. Currently, as of right now, Oklahoma State is undefeated 5-0 and 2-0 in conference play, tied for second with another team I'll get to later. These guys have one of the best offenses in the conference. In fact, they're actually tied for the most points per game with another team, as they average 46.4 points a game and have one of the best defenses, holding teams to just under 25 points a game. The only really bad thing they got to do is just nitpick the defense a little bit, and honestly, if they can get that fixed, they're an A+. But for right now, at the midseason point, I'm giving them an A.
TCU, A+.
Oh, jeez. I did not expect this out of TCU, but I digress. The Horned Frogs, holy cow, you deserve this grade. An A+. Yeah, a perfect score in my mind because this team really exceeded my expectations as I predicted them in the bottom tier of the Big 12. And here they are, basically sitting at the top of the conference with one of the best offenses that we've seen in years in Fort Worth. Currently, the Horned Frogs are undefeated 5-0 and 2-0 in conference play. Also tied with Oklahoma State in terms of offensive points per game, as they are just over 46 points a game. And they have a better defense than Oklahoma State, as they hold teams just under 24 points a game. If anything, this is my sleeper pick for the Big 12 championship because, oh boy, I don't know who could stop this team in terms of the offensive presence of Max Duggan and those guys. Sonny Dykes has really changed this program from the middle of the pack, bottom feeders, the tail end of Gary Patterson's years, to one of the top teams in the conference, and they could stay that way for a long time. So, yeah, they get an A+.
Texas, B.
I will say, Texas, at least you're doing better than last year. So the Horns, I gave them a B, and I think it's the first and only B of the video because, well, let's put it this way. If Texas had Quinn Ewers as the starting quarterback, I'd give him an A. But when they put in Hudson Card at starting quarterback, I honestly gotta give him a C. So there's a happy medium at this point, and a B was the best bet. Currently, the Longhorns are 4-2 overall and 2-1 in conference play. They also average just under 39 points a game while holding teams to just under 18 points a game. So another great defensive team and a highly touted offense. But since Quinn Ewers got back after his injury, I think the Texas Longhorns are going to be a dangerous team to face. They have a good chance to go to the title game and compete for a national championship, but that's not going to happen this year because they've already got 2 losses, so they're out of the playoff that way. But I think in the near future, this team could be a dominant one and potentially go undefeated and go to the playoff and win the whole thing. So, yeah. But for this season only, I'm going to give the Horns so far a B.
Texas Tech, C+.
Yeesh. Texas Tech. What happened? So the Red Raiders, I gave them a C+, because there were times where they looked really good, i.e. the Texas game where they knocked them off on the game-winning field goal. I can't remember if it was a field goal or not, but yeah, they beat some good teams. They lost to a tough NC State team that's currently, I think, in the top 10. So there's a bit of struggle there. But honestly, the last 2 games took a toll on them. And yeah, the record shows. Currently, the Red Raiders are 3-3 and 1-2 in conference play. They do have one of the closest gaps in terms of offensive and defensive points per game, as they just average over 34 offensive points per game, and they give up roughly 30 points a game on the defensive side. Yeah, the defense really needs to get better because they are one of the worst scoring defenses in the conference, and I think they might be the worst at this point because Oklahoma looks bad enough, but I think the Red Raiders still give up a lot of points. So yeah, if the defense gets better, this team could easily change their grade, but for right now, I gotta give them a C+.
West Virginia, C-.
Well, this grade just recently changed because I originally was going to give the Mountaineers a D, but I think after beating Baylor, I think they deserve a better grade. So I gave them a C-. The JT Daniels experience, or the experiment, yeah, it doesn't look like it's working. And how has Neil Brown kept his job? I don't know at this point. So with that said, the West Virginia Mountaineers currently sit at 3-3 and are 1-2 in Big 12 play. They have a highly touted offense where they score exactly 39 points a game, but their defense is the worst scoring defense in the conference as they give up 31.3 points a game. At this point, the defense needs all the help they can get because the rest of the season for them is going to get tougher, and I hate saying this, but they might be the team in last if Oklahoma doesn't choke the rest of the season. For now, I was going to give them a D, but I think they did better in terms of the Baylor game, so I was being nice. I'm giving the Mountaineers a C-. So that is going to do it for my mid-season Big 12 grades. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Also leave a like, share, and subscribe, and push that notification bell. Tell your friends about these videos. And I should see you again when the next one comes out. But until then, have a good day. Never ever bring exotic dancers to the field house. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.